Brad Ryder's ethnographic oral presentation. My ethnographic paper was on New Best Salon and Spa, which is located at 1482 Northern Boulevard, Manhasset, New York. I decided to do my field working at New Best Salon and Spa because I wanted to find out how they were so successful and were able to do as well as they do in the marketplace. And I figured, their product is amazing. The New York Times will attest to that. But I wanted to know if there was anything more than just the quality of haircut that they give that makes them as world renowned as they are. I decided to do this in multiple ways. In addition to the research I did on the side, I decided to conduct my field working at the salon and spa by getting a haircut and talking to my stylist, but also using my confidant, my grandmother, who is the director of special services for the spa, to get me some interviews with some of the good people and the higher up employees that may be able to give me some insight on the culture of the salon and spa. So my field working began as I arrived in New Best, and when I got there, the first thing you notice is the valet parking. The Mercedes, the BMWs, the Audis, the Lexuses, the Bentleys. I mean, the affluence is apparent right away, and there's just no shying away from it. That's what it is. It's a lot of rich people paying for haircuts, and it makes you think, maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just rich people paying for a haircut. But then you walk in, and you sit down with your stylist, and he starts talking to you. And my stylist's name was Daniel, and he was engaging. He was personable. He was asking me questions about where I went to school, what my major was, why I was doing this, what I planned on to do with my life, if I had an internship. He was genuinely curious about my life. And I thought that was very endearing. I really liked the fact that I've been to many haircuts where it's been awkward and silent, and this was not that. This was enjoyable. So as I sat there getting my haircut, I decided that in addition to just talking to him, I should listen to my surroundings. And as I was listening, I noticed the woman next to me who was clearly a regular. She had been obviously going to the salon with this particular stylist for many separate occasions. And she was talking about a marriage that was happening in the family with a niece or a nephew, I believe. And the conversation that they were having, it was just so honest. It was so open. He was talking about his family. She was talking about her family. It really was genuinely amazing to watch. And it really showed that the family culture is apparent. Very obvious. It's just very obvious that it's there, that the employees are just very genuine and really care. And I was starting to realize that the family culture is a big reason why New Best is so successful. So the interviews that my grandmother was able to line up, were two of them. The first one was with Michael's son, Jamie. Michael Mazzei is the owner of the salon spa. He opened it up 40 years ago, and his son Jamie has been cutting hair there since he was 19 years old, so about 25 years. He is a hairstylist, and he is also the creative director for the salon spa. And one of the questions I decided to ask him was what his favorite part about coming to work was. And obviously he started talking about, making people look great and being able to be creative in the workplace. And I said, what about, in addition to that, is there anything else? And he said yes. He said he didn't go to college and he didn't really get to have that experience, that social experience or the learning experience that college is. And he truly felt that he was educated by everybody who he cut hair for. Every person who came and sat in his chair was an education to him, like a class almost. He learned about industries, he learned about businesses, but he also learned social skills. He learned about families, he learned about people, and he made some friends in the process. And he said while everything is maintained on a professional level because they are providing a service and it's a business first, it really was apparent that he sincerely enjoyed that part of the job, making conversation with people, and he thoroughly wanted people to enjoy their experience. And I think that's a big reason why New Best is as successful as it is. So moving on to my second interview, it was with a woman named Gloria, who is the general manager and has been working at the salon for 23 years. And my grandmother thought it would be interesting to interview her because she doesn't actually cut people's hair. So she's not necessarily dealing with people on that aspect. She's the one organizing the appointment, and she's the one that are talking to people on the phone. And that's a very important thing. She's almost the salon's first voice many times. And as I was talking to her, she was telling me that all the same things that Jamie was saying about the family style business and how it starts with Michael and goes through his sons and his cousins and nephew, and it just flows throughout the entire organization, that type of personable and that genuine curiosity of making it an experience more than just a haircut. She talked about all that. But I wanted to get an example. I said, can you give me an example of how that's worked for you? And she said, which what I thought was very interesting, was that while a lot of the clients come from Nassau County, Long Island, a lot of them do come from Connecticut, New Jersey, New York City. But most endearing and most interesting to me was the people who moved away maybe to Florida or Arizona and they retired. And she told me that a lot of those people will schedule their visits to New York when they want to see their family. In addition to that, they'll also schedule their beauty appointments around that so that they can get their hair done or colored at New Best. And I said to her, that's unbelievable. I mean, there's got to be places in Florida and Arizona and wherever you're coming from that have as good a product that New Best has to offer. And she said, absolutely. But it's not just about the product. It's about the people. It's about, as Michael would say, the experience. It was all tying together at this point, and I was very thrilled, and I knew I was going to have a great paper to write. But my last interview was probably my most interesting, and that was with my grandmother. She had been a client for 38 years, and she'd been the director of special services for 11. So she had both aspects. She understood the client aspect, and she understood the employee aspect. So I decided to ask her many interesting questions. One of them I asked her, which is pretty natural, was, has the culture changed since you first started going? Which was about 2 years after the concept was even incepted by Michael. She told me that it's been the same, that the people are just as nice and that has been a stronghold for the business, and that's a big reason why the business is so successful. She also told me something very interesting, that she noticed that a lot of the people who she's been seeing go to the salon for, 35 years, their kids and grandkids now go. They're born into it, and they go when they're 12 years old for the first time, just like me. And they don't go anywhere else. The retention rate's unbelievable because they treat everybody like family. And once you're part of the New Best family, you're always part of the New Best family. And that's a business. That's not just a business model. That is truly a state of mind. That's a state of being that needs to exist. There needs to be an energy with that. You can't just say you need to be personable. You need to hire people who fit that model. And that is a huge reason why the culture of New Best, I think, directly relates to the success of the salon and spa.